Mr. Bob Chapman. Welcome to the show, sir.
Well, thank you very much. And I'm happy to say that what you've been telling everybody is true. And it's been a long, hard road. We had to fight the United States government all the way, and we're still fighting them because they're manipulating every market in the world. They are a corporatist, fascist government, just like there was in the 1930s in Italy under Mussolini and in Germany under Adolf Hitler. That's what we've got today. And I know you don't like to hear that, but that's just too bad. I'm only here to tell you the truth. I'm not guessing at this. I want to switch over to a letter I got from one of our subscribers who just retired from the bench. He was a judge. And it has to do with the foreclosures. The case I was referring to involved an elderly man who had fallen behind on his mortgage payments. He had contacted the bank to request a mortgage modification. The bank advised him they would consider the request, and while these negotiations were going on, the bank, without notice to the homeowner, sued him on the note. When the matter was set in for a hearing, it was questioned. He said, I questioned the bank's attorney as to why the bank sued the homeowner when it had advised the homeowner they would consider his requested modification. I also questioned the attorney why the bank sued on the note instead of proceeding with the normal mortgage foreclosure. The only answer I got was, and that's from the attorney for the bank, I don't know. That's another department of the bank. At this hearing, I felt there was more to this case than was being disclosed to me. It just didn't add up. This case demonstrates with blazing clarity how dishonest some banks can be in dealing with homeowners, how they have little to no respect for their debtors, and the bank's complete lack of integrity. Several months later, the Mears mess came to light, which is within the last month or so. And I had just retired. I now suspect that the bank doesn't know where the mortgage is or who owns it. When I was still on the bench, I noticed a shockingly large number of lost note affidavits filed in mortgage foreclosure cases. This is a procedure permitted when the original note has been lost or destroyed by mistake or accident. I fear it has now been used as a vehicle to hide the fact that the bank no longer owns the mortgage and the note, as it permits the bank to proceed without producing the original documents. I believe most, if not all states, have such a statute or rule which permits the procedure. Because of MERS and the potential fraud involved, all judges in the states who handle mortgage foreclosure cases have been requested by our highest court to review all mortgage foreclosure cases over the last several years to look for irregularities such as lack of proper assignments, etc. I believe this will reveal numerous cases that will warrant a second look and possible rehearing of many cases. I believe we are at the very early stages of what could prove to be the downfall of several large lending institutions. Time will tell. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what's going on out there. The banks are lying to everyone. And on top of it, they're broke. We're in for a very, very bad time. It's no wonder the gold was up $55 today, and silver was up $1.90 an ounce. In fact, it's up $1.92 now. And there's no end to this. People are fleeing from dollars and other currencies at an ever-increasing rate. And, of course, with this new QE2, which we announced on this program in mid-May, and we described how the Fed, which is a private corporation, would expend $5 trillion over the next 2 years in order to bail out more of the banks, and still some of the banks that they bailed out before, as well as Wall Street, insurance, pharmaceutical companies, transnational conglomerates. Ladies and gentlemen, this is really serious. This is the beginning of the end. And it's not going to get better. It's going to get one heck of a lot worse. Get your food dehydrated and freeze-dried in. Get your water filter. Be able to defend your family. And if you've got any extra money that you could use for investment, buy gold and silver coins and shares, because they're going to go right into the stratosphere.
Mr. Chapman, Betty in California comes in and she says, would it behoove to get the physical gold and silver or buy the shares?
I think people should start off by buying gold bullion coins in different denominations. Now, the small coins of 1/5, 1/4, and 1/2, and sometimes 1/10 ounce are more expensive, a higher premium. But on the other hand, if you have to use them for barter, you want some small denominations. With silver, the best way to buy silver is pre-1964. 90% silver bags, which contain dimes, quarters, and halves that were minted way back then. And everybody knows what they are. They're a good investment, cheapest way to buy silver. And on top of it, everybody will barter with them because they know that they have silver in them. And when you start to do that, if you have more money than that, then you can buy shares. But that's a lifeline. That's a layback position. And if you've got some money, that's what you got to do. And I've been telling you people for 6 years. A lot of you have acted. A lot of you can't act. And a lot of you will act. Just do what you can do. It's not going to be easy, and it's not going to be good. And I really don't know what's going to happen. And I say that very honestly. I don't even want to tell you what I think will happen. But it's not going to get better. The people in both parties and the bureaucrats, 95% of them in Washington are criminals. In Wall Street, where I spent 28 years and own my own firm, and in banking, if I merge the two of them together, along with the insurance companies, I would say 95% of them are crooks. That's what you're up against. And the only way that's going to be changed is if the current Congress tries to do something about it. And if they do not do that, the whole system's going to collapse and there's going to be a revolution.
Betty comes back in and she says, Mr. Chapman, what's all that's going on out there? I mean, you are part of the system at one time, and here we are in the greatest economic facade that's going on. And when I go into my search engine, many of the links have stories on investing are locked up. I can't open them up. What's going on out there? Is mainstream media in bed with the banks?
The banks and Wall Street own all of the mainstream media, and they have since 1938. It's very simple. And what do you think I'm on talk radio? Why do you think I don't appear on television? Because they won't allow me. They don't want me to go head-to-head with Mr. Bernanke because I'll chew him up and spit him out. They don't want that to happen. They tell you what they want you to know. They let you access what you can access, and the only place you're going to find the truth is on talk radio and in the Internet. I've been making speeches just like I am today on this network since 1965. It's a long time. People are finally waking up. But I knew how bad it was back then. Very few people wanted to listen. All you could do is give them a pamphlet or a book. And that was about the end of it. And today we got all kinds of things to give you. My publication twice a week by email covers everything that you need to know to survive. And that's why I do what I do. I'm 75 years old. I don't have any great interest in making money. I made millions of dollars. I was one of the top brokers in the country. And at this stage in life, money really doesn't interest you because where I'm going, they don't use money. And when I'm going to get there, I don't know yet. But that's why I do what I do. And I go all the way with it. I tell you really who's behind this thing, which all the other letter writers and certainly the mainstream media, they won't tell you that. I see buffoons like Glenn Beck trying to copy what I do and Alex Jones does and other people. But he'll only take you up to the edge. He won't tell you who's really behind this. He won't tell you that everything that you're seeing happening right now was caused deliberately. And the reason they're doing it, and they've done it before, is to bring about world government so they can enslave you all. That's what it's really all about. And that's how diabolical it is. And if you don't want to believe that, that's okay. I don't know whether you're going to starve to death or get shot. But if you don't protect yourself by following what I had to say, then you could be a loser. And that's just the way it is. And I know that I can't save everybody. All I can do is provide the direction and the tools to do it, and hopefully a lot of people will do it to save their families. Because this one's going to be a big one, and it's going to be for keeps.
In the Blog Talk chat room, I thought it was the Marine Corps chat room, but the Blog Talk chat room, Mr. Chapman, I believe that some places in the United States elected theocratic representatives. What's your opinion?
Well, does he mean by theocratic people who are within the clergy of some kind?
He says here, a form of government that is found in Iran.
Okay, well, that could be. It's too hard to tell how responsive and how good the freshman congressmen and senators who have been elected are going to be. I would say we'll have an idea by next March or April. I'm hoping that they'll have the people's interest at heart and in mind, but there's no guarantee of that. One thing that we did do as a people is we changed things again because what the current administration was doing wasn't working.